So, hi, Doc. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you on. So, how have things been going this year so far?
Everything's been going great. How are you? And thank you for having me.
Good. Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, it's been going good for me. I
That's
don't know.
good.
What day is it? What month is it? I don't know anymore. But anyway, so let's get right
Yeah.
in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the snow's starting to, warm up a little bit here. It's
Hmm,
starting to melt a bit. So yeah, everything's getting better.
yeah. So, let's get right into it. So, I love your music. I think it's really cool. And I really love that sort of soulful rock, kind of infused country vibe that you got going on.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
So, what made you get into music in the first place?
Well, I never grew up playing music. I never really sang until I was 30. But when I was in my last year of naturopathic college, one of my professors was a singer, and I kind of played harmonica a little bit.
Mm.
He was a blues artist, so I asked him if I could play some songs with him, and we started that. And then I just fell in love with music. And then after that, I moved to Ottawa when I graduated, and I had no one to play with. So I was like, I'm just gonna write my own songs, and that was it.
Awesome. So what made you go into country music specifically?
I like the storytelling
Mm.
from country, but as you can tell from my music, like it's not like country. So it's like a blend.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice.
yeah. But the
And
aspect of country that I like is I like real instruments. I like acoustic. I like banjo, and I like storytelling. So
awesome. Yeah, storytelling's such a big part of country. And I think you do that really well in your songs as well.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You've written a lot of songs, written and released a lot. How
Yeah,
many, how many have you
yeah.
got so far now?
I don't know. I think maybe like 30, and there's a lot more kind of in the bank that
Hmm.
I want to be releasing, and I plan on being releasing. So I'll just keep working away at it.
That's very,
That's my favorite part is writing songs and releasing songs. So
yeah,
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, that's very impressive.
thanks.
And you grew up in Woodstock, Ontario, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that influence like your music, or did it influence your music at all, do you think?
Oh yeah, I think everyone's backstory influences their music because most people's music, even if they say it's not about them, it's still influenced by stuff you've been exposed to. So I grew up in the country, so I think maybe that's another reason why I like country music because I can relate to some of the country elements. That's for sure. Because
Hmm.
yeah, we had my dad was a large animal. Well, yeah, he's retired, so he was a large animal vet. So our house was honestly like Noah's Ark. Like we had two of every animal you could think of growing up. So yeah,
That's
that
cool.
definitely played a role. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. And I think I read somewhere that you grew up on like a farm that you've had for generations.
Well, the road that I live,
Oh, the road. Sorry.
the road. So like my grandma grew up, and then down the road she moved, and that's where my dad was raised. Then we moved in between there. That's where we were raised. And now my brother is literally my dad's next door neighbor. Like so, and all my cousins have now moved to that road too. So the whole road is just full of Yateses.
That's funny.
Whether
That's
that's
awesome.
good or bad, I don't know.
I don't know, that's kind of cool. And I mean, not a lot of
Yeah.
people can say that, right?
No, it's nice too. And when we go to visit, there's like for my kids, they all have kids the same age, so
Mhm.
it's like a huge party every visit. It's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. So let's get to your music. So
Sure.
yeah, the first song you have for us is your latest single called Hold On. So what's the
Yep.
story behind that song?
The big thing for Hold On is just finding elements that, kind of like in your own backstory, things that are important to you that you want to hold on to, and making sure that you're not, I'm not saying that I'm opposed to like new things by any stretch because I love new things, but just don't forget to hold on to the things that are important to you and then that you've learned from before. So
Nice. So
simple things.
what are some of those things for you?
Well, it's actually right in the song. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's like family,
Mhm.
friends, kids, faith, all of those things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to that song. So here is Hold On. So as I kind of mentioned before, you've written a lot of songs and released a lot of songs. So what made you get into songwriting?
Uh, I think I've been a songwriter before I knew it. Like when I used to work, I used to have a lot of jobs landscaping. I had this one job where I was like the private landscaper pool boy for this like ultra wealthy family. So I spent all day by myself, pretty much just writing on a lawnmower. And the whole time I'm doing it, I think I was just writing songs in my head, even though I didn't play instruments or sing. I just always kind of just wrote songs in my head. So for me, it's just a great way to, when something's on my mind bother me, it's gonna form a song whether I want it to or not. Like I think in song. Yeah.
Nice. Do you kind of remember the first song you like wrote, like on guitar and like completely
Yeah.
finished?
Yeah, my kids, I played it for my kids once and it's terrible. So, and it's over the top. I'm not sure if all songwriters do this at the start, but it's like over the top cheesy, just like, yeah. But yeah, I do remember I remember all of my first songs. Yeah, they were terrible.
You got to get that out of the way, and then you get the good
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever like co-write at all, or everything I've seen is solo write for you?
I've never done a co-write in my life. No, I wouldn't say I'm opposed to it. I really want to make sure I have like the right person to do it.
Yeah.
And more than that, it's not, like I said, it's just my schedule. Like I'm always at work or I'm with the kids, and where I'm in Ottawa, I think a lot of the people I'd want to co-write with are in like the Toronto or Barrie area maybe. So yeah, it's on my to-do list too. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you don't need to co-write if you don't want to. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So yeah, it would be good to do that, experience that.
Yeah, and even like writing for other artists if you wanted to at some
Oh,
point.
I would totally be up for that. Yeah. Or like taking your songs and then marketing them to like, here's a song I wrote. Do you wanna use it?
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I just have to find more contacts to get involved with that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So you also have what you call an alter ego rock band called Gordon Franklin Jr.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you still do that? Like, how did that come about?
Well, when I write songs, like it depends how when it turns out that way, then I'll just kind of push it over into that direction. So when we play as Doc Yates, we play all the songs, like the hard rock, the Gordon Franklin Jr. ones. It's just that in terms of, like, if I was putting those songs out, I don't even know if it was the best decision to divide them up like that, to be honest. But when we were putting songs out, we were like, if we wanted to put them towards radio, and then they look at your other stuff and be like, well, this has nothing to do with. So I split them up, but yeah, that's kind of the music that I started playing when I was playing harmonica for that blues rock guy.
Yeah.
So I love that type of music too.
Nice. Well, hey, if Garth Brooks can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
His little
Yeah, I don't know if I can compare myself with Garth Brooks, but thank you.
Wow. Awesome. So let's get back to some more music. The next song you have for us is Back to Free by Drake White. What made you choose that song?
Oh, I like, there's this one line in the song that just went right to my head. It was like, how the hell did we wind up here over medicated in an easy chair? And like, for me, it's always like that thought in my head being like, better to burn out than to rust. Like, I just want to make sure I always do as much as I can with the time that I have. And then Drake White is my favorite country artist because he's not really country, kind of like how I like to see my own type of music. So he's got that swagger too.
Yeah, he's really cool. I hadn't heard of him before you mentioned him, that you wanted to play him on the show.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, so thank you.
That guy his voice is incredible.
Yeah, I really like the sort of, like, I do hear like kind of how you're kind of influenced almost a little bit by it. I don't know if you are, but sort of that, again, that kind of bluesy, soulful, but also that rock edge to it, which kind of makes it really neat and kind of unique. So
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, because I feel like I've established my sound well before I ever heard of Drake White. Yeah. So when I heard him, I was like, oh, he has the same kind of thing that he's going with. He's got a little bit more of like a Cajun kind of influence to some of his songs.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible artist. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get to that song. So here is Back to Free by Drake White. So by day, you're a naturopath. How did you get into that?
Well, I knew I wanted to go into medicine, but because my mom's a nurse, my dad's a vet, but even from the time I was a kid, I was never really into taking medicine, like drug medications. So I thought if I don't want to take them, I don't want to prescribe them that much. So then I thought I'd become a chiropractor because growing up in Woodstock, there was no naturopaths. And then when I was in Western in university in London,
Hmm.
I had a course who was taught by a chiropractor and a naturopath. And I went and talked to him right after the first class. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a chiropractor just like you. And then he said, no. He said, you should become a naturopath. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And so he kept teaching me about it. And then the class itself was alternative medicine, and started learning more about it. And then I knew instantly that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know the name of it.
Cool. And like for those that don't know, like what does a naturopath do?
Yeah, so naturopath, you work with clients the same way that a doctor would, but instead of using medications, I do work with a lot of people with their diet, using herbal therapies. I do a lot of acupuncture. I do some hormone replacement therapy, counseling. Yeah, it really kind of varies on the day. And then in terms of what we treat, if you have an emergency situation, you're not going to go see a naturopath, like
No.
when you go to an emergency room, but like any type of chronic health condition. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I grew up with a mother that was very much not into mainstream medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with all like the alternative ways of healing yourself. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. And, you know what? It's a very fulfilling day to leave each day knowing that you've helped someone. Like, well, ideally you better have. Yeah, it is a fulfilling day. Yeah.
Nice. So how do you balance both like your music and your work? Or do you?
I don't know.
You just
I
kind
don't
of
know. You do all this music stuff and have work, and so it's just when you have a passion, it's not that difficult to balance to make time for it. So
yeah. All right. I like that answer. So let's get back to some music.
sure.
So yeah, the next song you have for us is your song called Lonesome, which was released in 2019. So what's the story behind that song?
Lonesome was initially inspired by someone I knew who was going through a divorce, and then I don't know. Whenever someone, I don't know if it's just part of like being empathizing with someone, but I always feel like you feel like what would you feel if you were in that situation, and then you just I don't know. Sometimes you physically feel so you want to separate yourself from it, but sometimes you kind of physically feel it, and then I don't know. You just start writing a song as if it was you.
Mhm.
So that's what Lonesome was inspired by.
Okay. Do you write a lot of songs like from your own experiences or from other people's experiences or just whatever?
Yeah, I usually take a lot of them are from my experience. Some of them are from others' experience, but it's more because a lot of experiences, like when in my practice, you hear a lot of sad stories,
Mm.
and you want to transform it if it's affecting you. So you take that experience and then you put as if it was yourself in that experience, and that way you're not just telling someone else's story.
Mhm.
Especially when someone's come to you as like a patient, you're not just gonna tell. But yeah,
Yeah.
my patients definitely inspire a lot of, and their hardships have inspired a lot of songs.
Mm. Cool. So
Yeah,
you like music at work you get and then you bring it home and write songs. So it
yeah,
all comes together.
it does, and that's the thing. It
Yeah.
really they're two totally different fields, but they do link together. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's get to that song. So here is Lonesome. So I really love the chorus of that song. It's so like soulful and you really feel it. It just
Thank you.
really hits you. It's really good.
I did that project. Do you know Dustin Bird?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So I did that with him. He
Oh,
produced
okay.
it,
Oh no way.
and yeah, I don't know. There's an extra element that he added that chorus, and it does exactly what you just said. It goes from here to there, and it has such an impact. So yeah, shout
Nice.
out to Dustin. He crushed that one.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of producing and stuff
No,
from what I've seen. Yeah.
he is skilled
Yeah. He's doing really
and
well.
very skilled, very young, but way advanced beyond his years. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, nice guy too.
Oh. So, music isn't always the easiest career path. So what motivates you to keep working towards your dreams?
Well, because for me it's like a passion project, then I'm always going to stay with it. I've got
Mhm.
now I would never because I've got mouths to feed. I wouldn't be like, oh, come home and be like, talk to my wife and say, hey, Grace, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to hit the road and tour. Like, I just couldn't do that.
Mhm.
Um, it wouldn't make, yeah, it just wouldn't make sense for me. So for me, music is just a big outlet, and then anything that I can do with it and go as far with it as I can, then I will. But yeah, but there's certain things I won't sacrifice for it. I can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have boundaries too, because it is easy to kind of get lost in it, I think. And
Mhm.
what was I gonna say? I think too, like, um, for you, like, what would the ultimate like music career for you look like?
I
Or
don't know.
are you already living that?
No, no. The ultimate music career would involve, well, a lot more shows.
Hmm.
Um, like at the same time, like everything feels a little lackluster with the show things since the last 2 years with COVID and everything like that.
Yeah.
So now we'll kind of get things ramped back up and see how that goes. But I know I also don't think, maybe that would change when my kids are older and moved out. But a life on the road for me would
Mhm.
not. It has no appeal to me right now whatsoever.
Yeah, and
It,
like there's
it,
so much you can do like with a music career not touring too,
yeah.
right? So like kind of working at sort of the other angles of it that you can really take advantage of.
You know what I would really love is to do more music and that could be used as like
Oh, nice.
soundtracks
Yeah.
to music. And a lot of the times like Lonesome and that Hold On, like I like to write music that has that kind of like big feel, like because
Mhm.
I'm always imagining, not that maybe maybe it'll never ever get used that way, but in my dream that's kind of how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And especially if you don't want to tour, like why not?
Yeah,
Um
but maybe I'll want to tour when once the kids realize they get older and they're gonna realize I'm not very cool and they don't want to hang out with me, then then I'll have to go tour.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is just about to turn 10 and my son is 12.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so they're just starting to figure that out now. So
Well, I mean, you got a music career. Most dads don't have music careers, so I mean, it's pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's one lesson you've learned so far with your music? You can.
Ooh, a lesson that I've learned with my music. Mm, for me, I like the less is more approach.
Mhm.
Especially when I start recording my own songs. I always put way too much in, or when I first started writing, it was way too much elements. It was like I was trying to be Bob Dylan or something like that. And now I'm trying to make sure that I write the music and communicate as if the way I would communicate. Right now, I feel like I'm being a little wordy in the interview because it's I've just met you and maybe I'm nervous. But normally I like to communicate really clear and just get to the point, and I like music that does that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're wordy. It's good for me because the more you talk, the more there is to listen to. So,
Yeah, it's true. There's nothing worse than like the radio silence on an interview. So
yeah. So, let's get back to some more music. The next song you have for us is Mud by the Roadhammers.
mm.
Good classic Canadian song. What made you choose that song?
One, because it is Canadian.
Yeah.
Two, it was the first. Remember when you said like, why did you go into country music?
Hmm.
When that song first came out, and I think that was before I had ever really done any. I hadn't released a song yet at that point. I don't think so. And then my brother played it for me, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like country. That sounds like the blues rock that I like. So I was like, oh, I can have both. I can do the storytelling of. It made me realize I can put all these different elements together. Is basically what I'm saying once I heard
Hmm.
them do it.
Cool. Yeah, I was talking about this with another artist where country likes to pretend there aren't subgenres, but there are subgenres, and we need to
Yeah.
embrace the subgenre because otherwise we like limit ourselves. It's like with this song and like your music, we wouldn't have your music if we limited ourselves to what we think country music's supposed to be.
Yeah. 100%.
And as long as like you're honest and like making good songs at the end of the day, like does it really matter?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No. It'd be nice. It would be awesome if you could convince radio that. But
Yeah, that's a whole
you're not.
other issue.
But you're not. But you're not gonna.
No, don't come for me, country music purists. So,
Hmm.
dang. You get like the people that are like, that's not country.
Yeah.
But, like, they drive me crazy. Anyway, here is Mud by the Roadhammers. So, what does country music mean to you?
What does country music mean to me? I don't know if country music specifically means anything to me. It's more of just music does, and country is when I end up writing. That's how it. I guess that's how I feel. Country music is the way to take my musical elements and put them more in that story format. Yeah.
Yeah.
It also, but you know what? I like the roots aspect of where it's kind of like that old. There's like an old history to it, and I like that part of it.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So the next song you have for us is called Hometown, which is your song. What's the story behind that song?
Ooh, hometown. I wanted to write a song about my hometown, and being from Woodstock, Ontario, it was big in the news, like worldwide, but there was a girl there named Tori Stafford who got killed. She was like this
Oh,
10-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So right as I was in the middle of writing that song, that happened, and then it kind of just it really affected how I was going to put that song together, because I was like, that is a huge part of my hometown now, what happened to this poor girl. So there are elements to kind of discussing how terrible that was, and the elements that kind of injured not just the family but the whole town as a whole from that what happened.
Yeah. Has the town like recovered from that, or is it
Woodstock went through some bad periods for a while. That happened, and then people kind of forgot about Woodstock. It's for when you're a small town, it's just better if no one thinks about you. Like, you're better just to fly under the radar. And then a few years later, we had that thing where all those teenagers were all committing suicide. That was Woodstock too.
Okay.
So there was a huge number of teens all committing suicide, and then again that made like national news. Factory shut down. Yeah, now Woodstock has definitely bounced back. It's on the up and up. Like, everything's going great.
Good. I'm glad they're making a comeback.
They did. They made a comeback.
So here's that song. Here is Hometown. So this next part is 5 quick questions. It's just for fun, whatever comes to the top of your mind first. All right, you ready?
Like, one word answer? I just have to say one word?
Yeah.
Or I can just...
You can do one word, you can ramble on, doesn't matter. There are no rules here.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, what is your favorite snack food?
Ooh, my favorite snack food. Chocolate covered almonds are my like Achilles heel kryptonite. Yeah.
Nice. One place you'd love to travel to?
Germany.
Oh, why Germany?
Germany has all these really cool old naturopathic spas and like hydrotherapy centers, and like a lot of naturopathic medicine stuff started there. So yeah,
cool.
It'd be cool to see that.
I did not know that. Favorite holiday?
Ooh, favorite holiday. Halloween, I guess, not technically a holiday, but I do love Halloween. So I'm gonna say Christmas because it's 2 weeks off, and yeah, everyone loves Christmas.
Yeah. If you could learn any language in like a week, which language would you pick?
Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do a lot of work with acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and I could only imagine how cool it would be if I could actually understand all of that.
Nice. That makes sense. Why you would choose that. And your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Oh man, I only watch kids shows now with the kids. So I guess it would have to be Lego Ninjago. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a good one for that.
That's all right. That's a good one. Why not? Awesome. So where can people find you?
All the information's on my website, www.docyates.com, or you can look up Doc Yates on Facebook or Instagram.
Awesome. And I'll have all that information in the show description, so you can just hit those links so you don't have to search for it. So the last song you have for us is Meet Me in the City" by Junior Kimbrough. Did I say that right?
Junior Kimbrough, yeah.
What made you?
Yeah, this one was kind of off left field a little bit compared to the other ones,
Yeah.
but I don't know. For me, like his type of sound is just it's like a lullaby for me. It's just that groove. I wish I could do anything to kind of incorporate that type of feel in my songs, but he nails it. He That was one of his songs, but he's one of those guys, and I really like that type of music where he'll have one type of element and a melody and it gets very repetitive,
Hmm.
but yet it almost puts people in like that trance like feel.
Oh yeah.
Or should I say people? I mean me. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. And he was the sort of father, I guess, if you will, of kind of that rockabilly sound, I believe.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. He has a lot of good songs. You should check him out.
Yeah, good classic. Yeah, so well, thanks so much for coming on. And thanks so much for listening. And be sure to come back next week for more country music. And here is Meet Me in the City by Junior Kimbrough.
Hmm.
Awesome.